Hello.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wulff Den Live, episode 94, the one where we solve the mystery of what Oreo this is.
Oh snap! That is a surprise to me.
So, my lovely wife on Sunday just bought a package of the mystery Oreos because she knows that we like Oreos.
We do.
We like the different flavors of Oreos.
I need to quench. I need to quell my palate.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I've already opened it, and I've already tried some because, I mean, can you blame me?
I can't
mystery
blame you.
Oreos.
I can't blame you.
Now, I have my theories as to what it is. Me and my wife have our theories as to what it is, but I'm going to let you take a bite. See what you think.
What did you open one and like lick it? Why is there like what?
It might have gotten damaged in travel. I had it in my bag.
It's an overwhelming like fruity smell.
Yeah.
Wait, are we stuck? No, we're good.
Yeah, no, we're going.
My stream froze for some reason. Fruity Pebbles. It smells like Fruity Pebbles. I'm only saying that because I saw somebody online say that.
Yeah, take a bite.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
Fruit Loops.
That's what we said.
That's what it is.
We think it's Fruit Loops.
Not Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops.
So now...
Oh my god. It's got a chocolate cookie, but it tastes exactly like Fruit Loops.
So now the whole point is guess the flavor and enter for a chance to win $50,000. You can enter once a day. So you're allowed multiple entries. And there are other ways to like get entries, like tell your friends or subscribe on social media and all that crap. I didn't do that, but...
Well, now none of you even have to buy it.
Yep.
Because it's 100% Fruit Loops. There's no question about that.
Fruit Loops, Fruity Pebbles, some sort of fruit-based cereal.
I'm saying Loops.
Yeah.
I don't think Fruity Pebbles. I think it's Fruit Loops. Because the Fruit Loops have the sugar powder on top.
Yeah.
That tastes like Fruit Loops. Mm-hmm. Unequivocally. Is that the right word for this? Try to expand my vocabulary.
I believe so. Should get a word a day calendar.
Yep.
See, I'm surprised how banged up these got. Jeez.
Hello, OG Dubs. Hello, Yehuda, Noah, Atten, DMG, Fred, AJ, Derek. Hello, everybody. Anthony, Gloria, everybody that I'm going to miss. There's too many of you.
Anyone and everyone who is here.
Those are good.
Welcome to Cookie Time. These are very good. I hope these become a thing.
We have a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. Some of it is very important. Some of it, not so important. Now, what I want... The title of this stream is Rated M Nintendo. I totally forgot about Visceral being closed.
Yeah.
But, so Visceral and EA, that's going to be our main topic. But, I want to hit on some breaking news that just happened.
Yeah. What is that?
That is, the Nintendo Switch got an update.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up on screen here. This is actually the chat. A couple people in the chat turned me on to this.
I saw this on Twitter, and I saw you had something in our Google Keep about what was it? How the store got updated.
Oh yeah,
I was going to follow it up with us if you didn't know.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Well, according to Kotaku, the newest update of the Nintendo Switch is a surprisingly solid one, adding or at the least half-assing a bunch of features that owners have been crying out for since the console's launch earlier this year. First up is the ability to record video, which is a huge deal.
Yes.
Especially for Nintendo.
Keep reading.
All you do is hold down the screen capture button instead of pressing it, and the Switch will capture the last 30 seconds of gameplay. That is awesome. And that's a very good way to initiate it. Which won't be terribly useful for recording longer stuff like boss fights, but will at least let you capture individual moments.
Now, I will say, because on the PS4, it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's shorter on the Xbox One. I forgot how long it is because I barely use the feature. I think it's only like 2 minutes, maybe. That said, I usually never need more than a minute of gameplay if I'm using that feature.
I used to use the share capture because it was actually higher resolution than my capture card at one point. So it's actually really good for capturing stuff if you want to save it to the PS4 and put it on a thumb drive and then put it on your computer.
Yeah.
It's actually very useful for that. But the PS4 capture isn't very useful for uploading to Twitter because I think you're limited to 15 seconds. It's insane how limited you are.
Yeah.
So 30 seconds, if I can then publish it to Twitter, is better.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to immediately upload, I'm immediately uploading it to Twitter.
Yeah.
I used to, in the past, upload it to Facebook as only to me, so it's private, and then I would download it, edit it, and then put it on Twitter, which was
it's just too much work.
Too much work.
I mean,
so,
I don't know if they've updated the PS4 since then, but
I think they might have made it 30 seconds.
I'm sure they had to, yeah.
But at a point in time, it was 15 seconds. So 30 seconds, I think, is fine.
And I think that's good
for what I want to use it for, which is uploading to Twitter.
I'm sure down the road, like this is something they can easily increase to like a minute or two if necessary. Especially since, according to the article, it's important to note that this isn't a system-wide feature. You can only record gameplay from Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, ARMS, and Splatoon 2.
I didn't know that was a thing we got.
I'm making that a thing still. I'm making that a thing still. I don't care.
That's important. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's only those games as of now.
It's only the big Nintendo.
I'm sure it'll be added to Mario Odyssey, and whatever else like first party Nintendo game.
I wonder why.
I feel like this is Nintendo just sticking their toe in the water. Which is stupid.
I wonder if it's a proprietary thing that Nintendo has to that you have to put in your game to allow it.
Maybe, but then why is screen capturing system wide, but this isn't? Like I can take a screen capture of the menu.
Well, there might be something that you need to put in your game to allow it. You know?
I feel like that should be something they need to roll out to like everything.
Yeah.
Like as soon as possible. It should just be a system thing, period.
It sounds to me like they're giving developers an opportunity to opt out of it.
Right, that's true, because on the PS4 you can do that. Like some developers choose not to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It does also say once recorded, you can trim the beginning and end of each clip and post to Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, that's just like PS4.
Yeah. The next option, though, is the big one.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. You can read it.
The next option is to transfer your save data, which can only be done by moving a profile from one Switch to another. Here's how Nintendo describes it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is where things get complicated. Both a source console and a target console are required to transfer user information and save data. I'm keep going back and forth between data and data. Both consoles must also be updated to system menu version 4.0.0 or higher and connected to the internet. A Nintendo account must be linked to the user account you wish to transfer the source console.
A Nintendo account must be linked
to the user account you wish to transfer on the source console and cannot be linked to a user account on the target console.
Okay, so a Nintendo account and a user account are two different things.
Yes.
Okay, so the Nintendo account is your online persona.
Right.
And the user account is the account on the console, like on a computer?
Correct.
Okay.
So the Nintendo account must be linked to the source console, not the target console.
So the one that you have already.
Yes, that's the source console.
Okay, and not the one that you want to transfer to.
Yes, correct.
Okay, this is I hate this already.
Yeah.
I'm getting non-flashbacks of when I did this to my 3DS.
The target console cannot have more than 7 users at the time of migration.
I think that's
there
not
must
going to be
be
a problem.
room for one more user on the target console.
I don't think that'll be a problem for anybody.
Yeah. There's more.
Okay.
There must be sufficient free space on the target console's internal memory to receive the data that will be migrated there.
Okay. That's fine.
Once the process is complete, the user information, the associated save data, and the software purchased with the user account that is transferred will no longer be available on the source console. So it sounds like once you transfer things, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. What sucks about this is that you need the original console.
Yes.
So if you lose your console, you're still boned.
Yes.
You're still screwed.
This is, unlike...
This is a small step forward.
This is a very small step. This is a baby learning to crawl, let alone walk. I mean, when in an age of taking the memory card out and sticking it in another console, or better yet, cloud saving, this is completely insane.
I had a little bit of a scare because I removed my back again.
Yeah.
Because I put the red back on, and then I painted it, and I did all these things, and I didn't like any of the outcomes. So I put the black back on my Switch. Mm-hmm. And when I booted it up, it said memory card has been removed, and I was like, no.
Oh.
Because you have to remove the memory card in order to take the back off. Turns out I think I just had it asleep when I removed the memory card. Everything's fine. Okay. But if I damaged the memory card, because I had to keep removing the memory card, and I looked at it and it looked a little weird. The memory card looked a little weird. But yeah, if I lose that memory card, I'm done.
Yeah,
that's it. I lose everything.
Yeah,
and that is terrible. It's like, it's a little big. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to lose it.
There are also some new profile pictures for Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, and the ability to preload some games from the eShop to save you some time if you pre-order a game.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
Because every time I try to live stream a game that just comes out,
you have to wait.
It is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because like Splatoon, everybody's buying Splatoon at the same time. It takes a half an hour just to purchase the damn thing. For it to, it's got to show up on the eShop, then you got to get to purchasing, and then everything's crashing, and then it takes like another half an hour to load. So being able to preload stuff or pre-purchase things is a very good thing.
Yes.
I'm into that.
So,
all these are good things.
Yes, so this is all available today. You can go out and update your Switches to get the save transfer, quote-unquote save transfer, the record gameplay, and new profile pictures. This is in addition to an update to the eShop, which now has a games on sale page.
Oh, yeah. The eShop now has a games on sale.
Right, which
it has like 2 games in it right now.
Yeah.
Also, I think somebody said that you could sort by best sellers. Mm-hmm. And the top 10 best sellers, only 2 of them are Nintendo.
Yes,
developed.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Which is good.
Which is I don't think has ever happened in the history of Nintendo.
I think that's good. Yeah. That means
absolutely
that third parties are interested.
You know what one of those games is, though? Oceanhorn.
One of the best sellers?
Yeah.
That is sad. Stop buying Oceanhorn.
Apparently, like, that game is selling better on Switch than it ever did on only mobile phones.
I don't understand. You have Breath of the Wild. Almost like 99% of people who have a Switch have Breath of the Wild. Why are you buying Oceanhorn? Just play Breath of the Wild.
Maybe they beat Breath of the Wild and they need their fix, man.
Get Oceanhorn on your phone.
No,
because it's probably better on your phone.
Probably.
Than it is on the Switch, where you have Breath of the Wild. I'm trying to see the chat here if anybody has anything pertinent to say about this, but it doesn't look like it.
The Shrouded Shrew, do you guys think the eShop needs some music?
No. When the Switch came out, everybody was upset that the home screen didn't have music.
Yeah.
Yes, it'd be nice because Nintendo has iconic music, like the Wii music and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is a mobile device. It's a tablet. They have to come into the 21st century. Yeah. It's a freaking computer. Your desktop doesn't have music.
Like the Xbox One does not have music on the dashboard, home screen, anything.
The PS4 has something that is just completely unnecessary.
I don't like the PS4 dashboard music. That like ambient.
Yeah.
I think the PS3 does it. No, the PS3 doesn't. It has like that nice sound when you turn it on, but it doesn't have that.
It's just
the PS3 doesn't have it. The PS4 does.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Wii menu music was awesome.
Yeah. All that stuff. It was. Nintendo is very good with like their music and stuff. But
just imagine you're out and about and you turn on the system and that's just blaring.
Yeah. No.
It's not something you need. All right. What else do we got here? Well, we got to talk about Visceral.
We do have to talk about Visceral.
Yeah.
So, Electronic Arts announced that they have closed down Visceral Games. Visceral Games, for those of you who don't know, they created the Dead Space series of games. They made Battlefield Hardline, which is not their fault. And they were currently working with Amy Hennig, the director of the first 3 Uncharted games, on a brand new action-adventure Star Wars game.
Would you like for me, Will, to read everything that Visceral has done before?
Yes.
First, I'm seeing if they developed the single player for Hardline, which I think they did. I think DICE did the multiplayer.
Yeah.
No, I'm just double checking. With DICE and okay. Yeah, I can't. I'm pretty sure they only did the single player. All right, so Visceral has developed since 1998. The first thing they developed was Future Cop LAPD. I don't know what the hell that is.
Sounds rad.
Cyber Tiger, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2000, NASCAR Rumble, Road Rash Jailbreak. Those were all PlayStation games. 007 Agent Under Fire.
That game is okay.
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. That is a good game.
That is a good game.
James Bond, Everything or Nothing.
Yes. Absolutely yes.
That's the one that they made like a movie.
Yes,
right?
That's the best James Bond game that isn't GoldenEye.
That is a very good game.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. I don't know.
I think that was okay. That was more RPG-ish.
Oh, okay.
Because they used to be, I think, EA Redwood or something. Was their original name?
Yes, EA Redwood Shores.
Yes.
The Lord of the Rings games were good.
Yes.
I liked those.
Yeah, no, those were pretty good.
James Bond from Russia with Love. You played that.
That's good. It wasn't as good as Everything or Nothing was.
Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2007.
Okay.
When did he fall? When did Tiger Woods fall off?
Oh, that was much later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like in
I'm pretty sure they stopped the games
the
there.
2010s. Well, they switched to Rory McIlroy.
Oh. The much more famous Rory McIlroy. The Godfather. Did you play that?
I did. I really liked the Godfather video game.
You played a lot of Visceral games.
I did. I didn't even know.
They made My Sims for the Microsoft Windows and Wii. They also made the Simpsons game.
I did not like the Simpsons game.
What was that?
That was like when that generation first started, Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, and EA first got the Simpsons license. They made a Simpsons game, put it out on everything, and they tried to make it like the show, but it just was kind of boring.
Not hit and run. Not hit and run.
Not hit and run. Hit and run and the arcade game are still the best Simpsons games.
Dead Space, which is probably the biggest one.
Yes, Dead Space. I've only ever played the first one, but I never finished it. But it is very good.
They also made My Sims Kingdom, The Godfather 2,
which I heard wasn't as good as the first one.
Dead Space Extraction, which is PlayStation 3 and Wii.
That was actually a Eurocrom made game. That was the rail shooter.
Who's Eurocrom?
That's another developer.
Oh, well, It says here Visceral Games and Eurocrom.
Yeah. That was apparently like one of the best Wii games made.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember the cover from GameStop. I would see it all the time.
Yeah, just the girl screaming. Yeah,
it was like a nickel game.
Yeah, nobody bought it, but it was like got all these great reviews, and it's a rail shooter of all things.
They also made Dante's Inferno.
Game is average
at
best.
I did not like that.
Yeah,
game.
no.
The Sims 3 Ambitions. So I guess that's an expansion.
One of the expansions, yeah.
Dead Space 2.
Yep.
Dead Space 3.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield 3 Endgame, which I guess is one of the expansions.
Yeah.
Army of 2, The Devil's Cartel. And Army of 2 was good.
I always wanted to play Army of 2. The problem with that game is you needed somebody to play with.
You need somebody else. It's a good girlfriend game.
Yeah.
And Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah.
So they made a lot of good stuff.
They did.
They're a very important developer.
Yes.
They closed.
Yeah.
EA nixed them for a very stupid reason. Would you like for me to read the article, Will?
Read the article.
Okay, this is from Kotaku. EA shuts down Visceral Games. EA is shutting down Visceral Games, the studio behind Battlefield Hardline and Dead Space. The publisher said today, the Star Wars game in development, that's the important thing. They were making a Star Wars game.
They weren't just making a Star Wars game. They were making a Star Wars game with Amy Hennig, like the director of the first 3 Uncharted games.
Right.
That's important.
Yeah, it was going to be a single player focused, very good game.
Yes.
In the
vein of Uncharted.
I would say similar to 1313.
Right.
Well, not
1313
the same idea, but we don't know what the story would have been.
1313, if we're being real, was Uncharted just in Star Wars and rated M.
Right. So it was. Wait. Who was making 1313?
LucasArts.
Yeah. Okay. Because they gave those assets to somebody.
They might. I don't know who they gave the assets to, because when Disney bought Lucas everything, they shut down LucasArts, which included 1313. That stopped development. And then they just gave the license to EA.
There's a video somewhere on the Wulff Den talking about 1313 and showing concept art that you can't find anywhere else. Unless you buy this book that I have. So the Star Wars game in development at Visceral will be revamped and moved to a different studio, EA says. Although it will also be something completely different, which is very sad.
Yeah.
This is the quote from EA. Our Visceral studio has been developing an action-adventure title set in the Star Wars universe, EA's Patrick Soderlund said in a blog post. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. That's the point right there. Closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. That is probably why they did this.
Yeah.
It has been clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we needed to pivot the design. Sunderland added that Visceral will be ramping down and closing, quote, and that, quote, we're in the midst of shifting as many of the team as possible to other projects and teams at EA. Lastly, he said, while we had originally expected this game to launch in our fiscal year 2019, we're now looking at a new time frame that we will announce in the future, probably later.
Yeah.
There's an update.
Mm-hmm.
An email to employees obtained by Kotaku. Soderlund offered more details on the Star Wars game, which was codenamed Ragtag. The email says, a development team from across Worldwide Studios will take over development of Ragtag, led by the EA Vancouver team that has already been working on the project. Steve Anthony will lead this team, and we will use much of the work that has already been done to date by Visceral. The assets of Ragtag that have already been built will be the foundation for the new game. And there's still more to this article. Steve Anthony, the guy taking over, he's an executive producer at EA. Mm-hmm. It's safe to presume, this is the article now, it's safe to presume that the new incarnation of the Star Wars game will involve games as a service elements, as has been EA's mandate for quite some time now, which has a link, and I'd like to click on that link.
Games as a service, in case you don't know, is basically the game it's the type of game that doesn't really have an ending. It's multiplayer. It's got a lot of microtransactions in it. Things like that. Things like Destiny or The Division or what Rainbow Six turned out to be.
It also says here that they're not sure what's going to happen to Amy Hennig. And the spokesperson said, we are in discussion with Amy about her next move.
Right.
So she's probably not going to be attached to this project.
Probably.
Now, this is the article again. I've been hearing rumors for quite some time now that Visceral Star Wars game was in trouble and that studios across EA were brought in to help give it a vision and direction. Now the game is no more. So the main problem here, similar to what you just said, is that EA didn't like that this was a primarily single-player game.
Right.
They see value pretty much only in games as a service or every AAA developer, their dream when they make a game is to make a game that you will play for the rest of your life. And not every game can be that game.
Right.
You have to have some games that are just good experiences. You have to have some games that are just a game that you have to play. Like The Last of Us. That is a game that I think everybody should play.
Yes.
And that is worth the $60 experience, even though you're only going to spend 20 hours in it.
Right. And even though it has multiplayer, it's not essential to getting the core Last of Us experience.
Right. I was arguing with AJ a little bit about this because something like Uncharted, The Last of Us, it has a multiplayer, and it actually has a decent multiplayer community.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near anything like Call of Duty.
Right.
So I would say that the Naughty Dog spent a lot of time developing that multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helped. I don't know how much it helped. Maybe the microtransactions, the expansions helped, because that's the big thing here is that games are really expensive to develop, and they're $60, which they've been forever. So these developers or these AAA publishers, really, it's not the developers, it's the publishers. The AAA publishers need more money out of you. So the best way they think they can do that is making it a multiplayer game, making it something that you go back to all the time, and making things like expansion packs or microtransactions to suck money out of you. A story-driven game like what Visceral was going to make, they didn't see how they could get more money out of you from just a single-player experience.
Jim Sterling did a video recently where he talks about like things like this, how games, yes, they cost you $60, but in this day and age, they wind up costing you more because of all the DLC and microtransactions and things like that. But the reason why games are so expensive is because publishers and developers don't know how to budget their games properly.
Right.
Games are costing hundreds of millions of dollars for no real reason other than this arms race to have the best looking game out there. Meanwhile, we, the consumer, we didn't ask for he brings up Metal Gear Solid 5. We didn't ask for a horse that poops in real time. You know, we didn't.
But I'm glad that that's there.
Right, but like, what did it add to the game?
This is my argument. Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Great game.
Yes.
Did not need a multiplayer.
No.
At all.
No.
That was a giant waste of time and money and resources.
Correct.
The same thing happened to Uncharted. They added a multiplayer,
Yeah.
but there was people that actually played the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing the Tomb Raider multiplayer.
No, because it wasn't a good multiplayer to begin with.
Yeah. So, like, that's a waste of money.
Right.
They added that because they thought you would they want replayability. They want
Yeah.
you to come back to the game. That is something that did not need to be there. A horse pooping in real time, I think that's a nice detail.
It's a nice detail, but that is unnecessary. Like, if that was not there...
If you were...
Because it wasn't in Red Dead Redemption, and I didn't miss it then.
Well, here's the thing. The new Red Dead Redemption, did you see the horse ball physics?
No.
That was something that went around Reddit. The horse's balls... You could see, there's a shot from behind, and you see the horse's balls move while the horse is walking.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "What did the animator's search history look like trying to animate those balls?"
Did they motion capture it?
Yeah, put little motion capture balls on the balls.
Yeah.
Those are details that I do think help the overall product because it helps you be more immersive. If you say something like that was added to a crappier game, like Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah,
I would like if the cop's on a horse and it poops in real time, I would say that's completely unnecessary. But something like Metal Gear, because it's so immersive, because all of the details help the overall picture, I would say maybe that's worth it.
But do you think things like
I do think they wasted a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why Kojima got fired.
Yeah, that's why the game's unfinished.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
I think there were a lot of problems.
I don't know how much it costs to make a horse poo.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's indicative of like a bigger problem, this like arms race to create like the most realistic looking game ever. Meanwhile, you know, it's costing your company an arm and a leg to make the game, and then you don't recoup your costs. The big success story this year was Hellblade, the Ninja Theory game. That had a modest budget, but it had a modest like production budget, a modest marketing budget, but it had like the production values of a AAA game. They self-published it. They released it at a lesser price point. I think it was only like $30, and it was a success.
Yeah.
You know, like so that just shows you can do things on a modest budget.
I just think certain things like a multiplayer is unnecessary in certain games. I think that games don't have to be 20 hours long.
Yeah.
I will pay $60 for a 4 to 8 hour experience.
Yeah.
I don't need a 20-hour experience. Mm-hmm. I don't need all these fetch quests to unnecessarily make the game longer, you know? So like focus your energy on what matters.
Yeah.
That way you don't waste money on dumb stuff. However, we've been paying $60 for games since the dawn of video games. I think with inflation, we're going to have to pay more eventually.
Yeah, no, games are going to
eventually they're going to go up to $80.
They already almost are, because like, you know, they always push the special editions and all that down your throat.
But like, don't teeter around it. Like don't add this stuff. Like, don't hide behind microtransactions.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't turn your games into a service.
Yeah, just give me what I want. I don't want to have to look for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
When I give you my money, I want the whole game to be on that disc.
Exactly.
And I want it, like, I don't want every game to be the game that I play for the rest of my life. I want I want a single player game like Uncharted 4. That was an amazing game. Put it in, play through it. I didn't actually beat it, but play it, and I think about it all the time because it was an amazing game. Just make a good game.
Exactly.
Something like the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Those are all great games.
Yeah.
I don't need any other crap that goes on. I just want to plow through the story.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I don't ever want to look at the game again. But I think about it all the time because it's a great game. And then I talk about it, and then my friends buy it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, people will spend their money on just a linear experience.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's what you need is a linear experience. Not everything has to be a multiplayer,
Yeah, that quote, in its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game. Like,
which is I need that.
yeah,
I want that.
That is what people wanted from a Star Wars game. But you can tell that was a dirty phrase in the realm of EA.
Yeah, because they
want to turn every game into Destiny.
They said throughout the development process we have been testing the game concepts with players, which is definitely not the problem.
Yeah.
Listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play. This is the important part, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It sounds like they were QA testing with people, with gamers, and they were asking them like loaded questions like, do you like it? Yes, I like it. What do you like about it? I like how it's linear story and whatever. I want that in a game. Will you come back and play it? No, I'm gonna throw the disc out when I'm done. Probably trade it in at GameStop. What can we do to help to make you come back to it? I don't know. If it was like a multiplayer game, maybe I'd play it.
There's this idea that if it's not open world, there's no replay value to it.
That's another thing.
So
not every game has to be open world.
Exactly.
That's something that's a whole different thing that bothers me about games.
It's what happens in the game industry is the second one thing is successful, it's worse than it is in movies. The second one thing is successful, everyone has to copy it. We saw this when GTA 3 came out. Every game became open world to the detriment of the game. We saw this when mobile games took off. Even like console games started becoming like mobile games to their detriment. Dead Space 3 is a great example. Poor Visceral, they made these two really good horror games. And then Dead Space 3 had to be much more action-packed because Call of Duty was big and had to have a lot of microtransactions because Candy Crush was big. So they butchered a perfectly good game to try and chase the trends of other games that don't fit what Dead Space is.
Yeah. Like, what's another? I've had this conversation before about games that they just shoehorned in open world.
Yeah.
Metal Gear, I think, did a good job.
I don't think
they were forced to do that.
No. Well, you can tell like that was the route they were going because like each game got a little bit bigger and like more freedom based.
I think Ground Zeroes is a good example because it's an open area.
Yeah.
I don't need like Fallout 4 is a good example. They're like, this game is 10 times bigger than Skyrim. It's huge. First of all, Skyrim isn't that big. They do a lot of tricks to make it look big, but it's really not that big. Fallout 4, it's huge, but there's so much space in between all of the things. Like there's just a lot of nothingness going on.
I think like the great example, and as much as I love them, the Arkham games, they just got progressively bigger. Almost to the detriment of the games and the stories they were trying to tell in them.
I've heard people say that Arkham Knight, people didn't know where the hell to go.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really have that problem.
Yeah, no,
the game just got boring.
It just had a really bad ending.
Yeah. There's this thing where like these publishers think they can sell you on a game because it's the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Even though they could just add filler.
It's got the most of this. It's got the most of this. It's got the most of that. It's got the highest number of Ps, and then the biggest frame rate. And
we don't need
all this other
all
crap.
That data is useless.
Yeah.
Just make a great game, and we will buy it.
Yeah.
The Last of Us, what specs were great about it?
And
nothing.
It looked nice.
It looked really nice for an end of the generation PlayStation 3 game, but there was nothing. It wasn't the biggest anything.
Yeah.
It was just a really good game.
Yeah.
And that's it. So just do that. Just give us a good product and we will buy it.
But no, they're all stuck in this, race to the top. Everything's got to look the best. Otherwise,
it's a big reason why I'm like so just tired and fed up with AAA, big AAA releases.
Yeah.
By the way, we got Shadow of War for PS4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm probably not going to play it.
We got it on disc?
No, it's a digital code.
Okay.
But
I'll play it.
oh, you can borrow the PS4 if you want to play.
Oh,
it.
it's on yours?
Yeah, it's on the PS4.
Okay.
Wait, oh yeah, you have a PS4.
have a PS4,
Oh, I
yeah.
would have given it to you. I totally forgot.
Ah,
PS4.
that's it. All right.
Can I gift it?
I don't know if you can once you bought it.
No, maybe I'll just give you my login.
I'll figure it out.
Play
Yeah.
yeah. Because
I mean,
one of us should play it.
I haven't set up my PS4 yet, so.
Because, yeah, I didn't like the first one.
I mean, I like the first one. Although, I don't know. I was not going to buy the second one because that, too, is loaded with unnecessary microtransactions and is made more open world than it needed to be.
What's this about you saying that the new Assassin's Creed has the ending behind a paywall?
I have to check my sources on it, but I remember hearing somewhere that the ending of Assassin's Creed Origin, the new game that's coming out this year, it's the actual ending of the game, like the final mission. I forgot if it's hidden behind a paywall or if it's a pre-order bonus, which I guess is hidden behind a paywall.
A pre-order bonus would be even worse because not everybody can get to a GameStop or whatever retailer is going to have the pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
Apparently Fred and AJ are fighting about something probably stupid.
Probably One Piece.
I'm trying to read through here.
Polygon GameStop ad treats bad pre-order bonus tactic like a joke.
Matty Boy says, should I get Breath of the Wild DLC or Shovel Knight? Is that I would say Shovel Knight. But I also haven't played the Breath of the Wild DLC.
Yeah. Oh, this is what it is. So the GameStop ad, and the ad is, it's literally like a part for the game, and then all of a sudden, a camel shows up in the middle of the screen, and then a message shows up and says, "Sorry, the bonus mission is blocked unless you pre-order Assassin's Creed Origins."
That is the most tone-deaf ad I have ever heard of.
That is like. Honestly, like the most, I will not buy Assassin's Creed Origins now. I wasn't going to in the beginning, but now
I was thinking about it. It looked different enough.
No, like that's not cool at all.
No, that's a very bad.
I'm
definitely not pre-ordering it.
That's
terrible
thing to do.
Never ever pre-order.
Well, the thing is, now if you don't pre-order it, you're paying the same money as everybody else for less of a game.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't get tempted to do it. It is garbage.
Yeah.
But earlier I was talking about how it's great how you can pre-download a game, but like do that like the night before. You know, you don't have to do it like all week before. Don't give these developers. Don't let them bully you like that. Like that's teasing. Here's the game. Oh wait, oops, you gotta give us your money.
No,
that's not cool. You can pre-order hardware. That's important. You don't get anything extra for pre-ordering hardware, and they actually need to know the stock. We talked about this before, but when you pre-order a video game, I have worked for GameStop. They told us to disregard pre-orders and sell through what we had. So if we had a stack of 20 Call of Duties, launch day comes, they're all pre-ordered. Too bad. We're told to give them to anybody who comes.
Especially in this day and age with online ordering and just digital downloading, like there's no need to pre-order a game.
Yeah, and if it's a big AAA release, every store is going to have plenty. They will not sell out. If they sell it the first day, it'll be there the second day. They get overnight shipments.
Yep.
So you will be totally fine without pre-ordering a game. I did see something here. Oh, Lucas S. Does EA actually want to have two different multiplayer Star Wars game series at the same time? Yes.
The thing is,
maybe potentially more than two.
Every single EA studio is working on a Star Wars game. I didn't realize that. Every single one, including Respawn, which is like a separate entity from EA. EA doesn't own Respawn. But Criterion is working on something. EA Motive was specifically made to make a Star Wars game. DICE, obviously. BioWare is working on something Star Wars, not just the Old Republic. So every single EA studio is working on something. As of now, all we know about is Battlefront. Yeah,
that's another thing. EA people were pissed that Battlefront 1 didn't have a single player.
Right.
So EA was like, "We hear you loud and clear, guys. We're putting a single player in Battlefield 2. But that other game that you wanted, pure multiplayer experience.
This makes me afraid.
Like, were they listening? They were not listening.
No. This makes me afraid that the single player in Battlefront 2 is going to be garbage. Like, it's going to be a 2-hour campaign. It's going to be very basic, and it's if you thought the Visceral game was linear, you don't know linear until you see this. It's literally just walking down a corridor.
If it's anything like the Battlefield single players have become, I don't want that. Well, apparently you played 1, right? Battlefield 1?
Yeah.
Did you like that single player? You liked, right?
I did like it, but I think it was slower than the other Battlefield games because it was World War One.
Right. Battlefield Hardline was trash.
Battlefield
that
Hardline
single player was
very
trash.
bad. I thought Battlefield 3 and 4 were just Call of Duty clones, but that's just me.
I thought they were good, but they were supplementary to the multiplayer.
Right.
So they weren't anything to write home about. It's not something like I wouldn't say, hey, you got to play the Battlefield 4 single player.
Yeah.
It's not that important. Something like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2, you got to play those single players.
Yeah.
Those are good single players.
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
And then the other ones like Black Ops, I thought was funny. There was some cool moments, but like again, supplementary to the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So hopefully, it doesn't look like it to me, but hopefully, Battlefront 2, the single player isn't supplementary to the multiplayer. It's a completely unique experience. Luke Simpson says hairline was garbage. He meant hardline. Tommy Rojas says, how long will the single player, though? I don't really want it to be like Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2
had a great single
I
player.
didn't finish it, but it was really good.
It was. I mean, it wasn't too long from what I remember, but for what it was very good.
I didn't finish it, but I wanted to.
Yeah, I definitely say finish.
That was one of those games that you think about when you're not playing it.
Yeah.
Because the single player was very unique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that got a bad rap because, again, EA ruined that because they made it come out in between Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah,
which is a
the
terrible
dumbest
spot
thing they
for
could
that.
have done.
That game should have came out in March.
Yeah.
When nothing else was around it. It would have done awesome.
But that's the thing now. That's the mentality of AAA developers now, especially Western AAA developers. Every game has to hit Call of Duty numbers. Otherwise, it's an absolute failure.
Yeah. And that's because they dump so much money into it.
Yeah.
And that it's sad. Focus your money on what matters and don't try to make a game that I'm going to play for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You're just not going to be able to do that. And then you got Nintendo over here who's like, look at Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
You're going to play this for like a year, and then you're never going to play it again.
Mr. Brockarock in the chat. I used to work at EA Redwood Shores on Dante's Inferno.
Damn.
And I'm sad to see it go. I also feel that the entire focus on every game being a huge budget Destiny clone is bad. However, EA is not evil.
I'd like to elaborate. I think he says more. This could easily be a game that isn't progressing properly. They've dumped a huge amount of money on this, and it isn't fun.
I mean, that's true too. EA spent a lot of money for the Star Wars license. This is Star Wars. Like, this is something that they have to get right.
Right, but they've also previously canned 1313, unless that was Disney.
That was Disney.
Oh, when they. Oh,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But EA has done things very similar to this in the past.
Correct.
You're right that it could be something that maybe just wasn't working out.
Yeah.
But the way that they word it, the way that they say that they want to make it, I mean, they didn't say they want to make it games as a service, but the way that they're shifting it to be a multiplayer experience.
They didn't say it, but they're thinking it loudly.
Well, let's go back to the quote here. We're in the midst of shifting as many of teams as possible to other projects. Lastly, while we were originally expecting this game to launch... Oh, yeah. No, that's not it. It has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time, we need to pivot the design. That is what is scaring most people.
Yes.
That is what's making people suggest that this is going to be a multiplayer experience or something that's like vastly open world, like scope that is going to be either much bigger or they're going to try to shift it to be a multiplayer experience, which is not something that we want from this.
This also Polygon did an article analyzing just that quote and what this means for not just single player Star Wars games, but single player games in general. They did mention that Dishonored 2, Prey, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and Watch Dogs 2, all single player focused games, didn't meet sales expectations. Now,
Wait, what games were those?
Dishonored 2, Prey, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and Watch Dogs 2. Okay. All single player focused games didn't meet sales expectations. Now, I don't know if that was because they over budgeted everything, the whole make everything bigger, better, more grandiose, but at the expense of, a proper budget so that you'll never make your money back. But, I mean, they could have seen those numbers and panicked.
Right.
Visceral Star Wars game was being helmed by Amy Hennig, who directed multiple Uncharted games at Naughty Dog. It sounded like Visceral's title was intended to be Star Wars a la Uncharted, but solo-focused cinematic adventures like Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Rise of the Tomb Raider seem to be a dying breed because everything's moving to multiplayer. They've done this before. They during the last generation, games got multiplayer that didn't need it. A famous example was Spec Ops: The Line. Has one of the best single-player campaigns ever. The developers behind it have publicly said, we were forced to spend time and money adding in a multiplayer component that is terrible. Meanwhile, we could have used those resources to make the single player better.
Right. Brockrock added, they aren't diversifying studios enough, and putting everything into one basket is very bad. It leads to failures to hit milestones, causing this big of an upheaval at a studio level. He also says, we need more smaller titles with smaller budgets looking to tap into the 20-hour single-player experience, which I'm feeling is hitting that sweet spot awesomely.
Yep.
And he said Ubisoft, like he was supposed to say Ubisoft somewhere, but I don't know where that would have added. Ubisoft is another publisher that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
I think a lot of their games are clones of each other.
Exactly, yeah. I was excited for Far Cry 5, but then I remembered it's probably going to be the same as all the other.
I didn't play 4 because that looked exactly like 3.
It was, except you get a gyrocopter.
Yeah, it's not enough. So I think 5 would be different enough, and I like the setting.
Yeah.
And that's why I was excited for Assassin's Creed, because I like Assassin's Creed games, but it was the same game every year.
Yeah.
They took a year off.
Yeah.
And this looks a little bit different.
Right.
So. I was also excited for Watch Dogs, but I never played it for some reason. So
Watch Dogs 2, I heard, is better. But,
yeah.
I mean, the first one wasn't great.
The Division I did not like.
Yeah.
And the Division sold very well.
Yeah.
Really well. But that was a multiplayer experience. So none of this is helping anything.
Yeah, no.
Then you have something like Cuphead.
Yes.
Sells 1 million copies in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a case where...
But they spent a lot of time on that game.
Yeah. It was 8 years, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They pushed it off a lot.
Yeah.
And it's all animation, So they put a lot of love into that.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move on from this.
We do.
That was a lot of visceral talk.
Yeah.
Did the Switch update. We didn't even talk about what I named this stream.
Oh, yeah.
Which we'll just plow through. We got to plow through a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
here.
I mean...
This is really the only other important thing that I have on here.
All right.
Nintendo is reportedly switching up its game plan with more mature titles. This is from Tech Radar. And then they have an update. Doom has a release date November 10th, which is very soon.
Yeah.
A lot sooner than I was expecting. That is 1 week before Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim comes out the 17th, and LA Noire comes out the 14th.
So it's just boom, 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 all these mature titles.
Boom. Yeah, and ports of other games that we've already played. Though in recent history, Nintendo has appealed to our sense of childish fun with excellent first-party exclusives and innovative gameplay, one thing it hasn't offered is gaming experiences geared towards older audiences. This is something that could, however, be able to change if a recent report from the Wall Street Journal is accurate. I absolutely hate the Wall Street Journal. According to the report, Nintendo is actively encouraging publishers of other more mature titles to release games on the Nintendo Switch in order to shed the console's limiting family-friendly association. In the report, several game developers have been quoted as saying that Nintendo has actively encouraged them to bring their adult-targeted titles to the Nintendo Switch. Inti Creates the studio behind shooter Galgun 2, is one of several studios that Nintendo has approached. I'd like to also add that Inti Creates did Mighty Gunvolt, which is an amazing game. Chief executive, I almost said chef executive, Takuya Aizu expressed his surprise that Nintendo approached them and releasing the game, a title which is under no uncertain terms very mature, on the Switch. Quote, I thought it wouldn't be possible to release such a game for the Switch, but surprisingly, Nintendo gave me positive feedback. One unnamed executive at a developer actually said that where Nintendo's attitude towards mature titles was once, quote, passive, this is, quote, no longer the right word to describe its stance today. Nintendo itself told the Journal that it's pursuing these titles in order to diversify its offering on the Switch. Quote, as with books, television, and movies, different content is meant for different audiences. Nintendo's reputation for being kid-friendly console option hasn't exactly come from nowhere. You only have to look at Nintendo's version of a first-party shooter, Splatoon, to know that the company hasn't had much interest in violence, blood, and gore. If you want that kind of entertainment, you go to PC, Xbox, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to read the rest of the article. We get the idea. I think that this only makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, of course, Nintendo wants third parties to be interested in their console and putting stuff on their console. Back in the day, the NES, that was the only thing you could get. You got to get the NES. The Super Nintendo comes out, now you have a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Sega was marketed as the mature one.
Right.
And Nintendo was the one for kids.
The Mortal Kombat on the SNES didn't have blood, didn't have fatalities. It did on Genesis.
Right.
And that helped Genesis sales.
But you had a lot of the same games on both.
Right.
Then you have the N64. Again, I would say that was the winner for that generation.
It wasn't.
It wasn't?
PS1 sold like 100 million units that generation.
That's not more? 100 million more?
Just 100 million units. The N64
Period.
only sold like, I think, 30 something.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, it got worse the next generation.
Yeah. Anyway, there was some mature games on the N64.
Yeah.
There was the decent amount.
Yeah. But it still had that perception.
Right.
Because of games like Banjo-Kazooie and Mario and, games like that.
Yeah, and the PlayStation 1 didn't have stuff like that.
No.
Then the GameCube comes out. That had a lot of AAA mature titles.
Right.
But we started to see the stigma really
that was
head.
when it was really in your face.
Yeah, then the Wii came out. The Wii is what put the nail in the coffin for
no matter how hard
parties.
they tried with.
You had all the kid-friendly stuff. It was a large swath of kid-friendly stuff. But I think what put the nail in the coffin was that it was a weaker console. I think the fact that it was a weaker console,
and the focus was on the family
right.
play, getting people who've never played video games to play video games.
That's the thing. The Wii was targeted at people who never played video games, which I think was smart, and it worked really well for them. Mm-hmm. But that's what made AAA third parties, the people who put their game on every console, that's what made them kind of shift away, is that it was hard to port their game to the Wii.
Yeah.
Wii U came out, same stigma. Now the Switch is here. Everybody's buying a Switch.
Yeah.
So these AAA developer, and plus it's a system where you can play on the go.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, we got to get our game.
And not only that, Nintendo has been actively helping people port their things to the console.
Yeah.
Especially indie developers, and the fact that Bethesda is putting 3 of their biggest games on the thing.
And Bethesda was in the reveal.
Yeah.
The Skyrim was in the reveal. And I would say that was almost certainly just to show that they were interested in having big third-party experiences. Mm-hmm. That they were serious about having mature titles. Because putting Call of Duty, that's not in the scope of a Nintendo commercial.
Right.
But Skyrim, even though it's a mature title, that is in the scope of a Nintendo commercial. Because, they don't have to show blood, you're just showing a sword.
Yeah.
I think that I think that this makes sense. I'm not surprised that Nintendo would want to focus on.
Yeah.
Not focus on, but encourage mature titles.
Well, it goes in waves. I remember when the GameCube came out, there was like a focus because with games like Eternal Darkness, which was Nintendo published, it was their first M-rated published game, and a game called Geist, which was their take on like a first-person shooter.
And you had Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor
Like
was on there. Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. That was Nintendo Resident Evil.
We played a lot of mature games on our GameCube.
Yes.
Even though it looked like a purse.
Yes.
That stigma wasn't there for us. That it was.
No.
I think it came after that with the Wii. Is where it really like.
Well, no, it was there. Definitely there with the GameCube.
Right. It was there, but it was made much worse by the GameCube. I mean, by the Wii.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But now, of course, they want to put their stuff on there.
Yeah.
Especially, like, think about it. If you're a PC, if you only play games on PC, now you have a tablet that you can keep playing a game on. Like, I think that the Wii is the perfect supplementary console to your gaming.
Yeah.
It's not your all-in-one, unless you're, like, a teenager or younger.
Yeah.
Well, younger than a teenager. If you're, like, 10 years old, then, like, yeah, I could see the Switch working out. But, if you have a console or a PC and you need something else to game while you're out, the Switch is absolutely perfect. And putting something like Doom, like Wolfenstein, like LA Noire, like Skyrim, those are all very smart.
I am tempted to buy Doom again on the Switch because I feel like it would be perfect.
Wow.
But it's a very long game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to beat?
It took me. I kept playing it on and off, but like every time I thought it was done, it just kept going.
Yeah.
So, but I would highly recommend you get it.
I'm definitely getting it.
You definitely should.
But I'm also going to be getting Skyrim. I'm going to be getting everything. Oh, and I'm also going to be getting Mario Odyssey.
Right.
So, and Mario Odyssey is going to be. I'm going to play the hell out of Mario Odyssey.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to be playing.
Like, I have no doubt you're going to be playing the hell out of Mario Odyssey, but
the hell out of Mario Odyssey.
I highly recommend you get Doom.
I'm going to get Doom. I'm going to get Doom. I got a lot of games. Well, holiday season.
You're going to get Rogue Trooper? I see it's in the...
Yeah, I put that in here. Do you know who he is?
Okay, so I remember when this game came out. This game came out like in the GameCube, PS2, original Xbox era. Rogue Trooper is part of 2000 AD. That's a British comic book magazine that's home to Judge Dredd. And that's like the famous thing that 2000 AD has. Apparently it was good. It was a good game. Now there's a HD remaster on Switch.
I'm going to look up the Metacritic because you know what? I don't believe that it was a good game.
I mean, it's probably like good as in like cult.
Tommy Rojas says, I would also like the Dark Souls series and Bloodborne just because I have not played them and would not like to play them on my 360. I 100% agree.
Bloodborne probably won't because that's a Sony-owned property. Dark Souls, maybe.
Well, we don't know, Will, because Sony, through their publishing arm...
It's Sony Music.
Yes, but there's some games.
Yeah.
I thought that because I was like, I saw an article and I was like, wait, that doesn't mean games are coming to the Switch. It's a music thing, but apparently they do publish some indie games that are coming to the Switch. I don't really know what it's called. Untease or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Rogue Trooper. PlayStation 4, 57 on Metacritic.
All right, maybe not.
PlayStation 2, 71.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There you go. Derek Doppler says, people bought COD for the Wii? Question mark, question mark. We did.
We bought Call of Duty 3.
Yes.
Well, we bought it because it was the only thing that came out at the time for the Wii. It was supposed to be the best first-person shooter on the Wii at the time, which it was. It also...
It was okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good
I would say it was good.
For a Wii launch title. Yeah.
Call of Duty 2 blew my mind when the Xbox 360 came out. That blew my mind.
Also, too, this was the first like mainline Call of Duty game not made by Infinity Ward. So getting it on like the lesser console really didn't bother me.
Do we know who made it?
Treyarch.
Oh, they did make it.
Yeah.
That was their first game?
That was their first mainline. Because before that, they did like... Because back then, there was Call of Duty and Call of Duty 2 on the PC. But on the consoles, because it was PS2, Xbox Original, and GameCube, they got like... Call of Duty Finest Hour or Call of Duty Big Red One, spinoffs. And they did Big Red One.
AJ says Will is going to take centuries to beat Doom again.
Yep, probably.
Luke Simpson Are you getting L.A. Noire? No.
No. I was tempted to, but no. That game took me even longer to beat than Doom.
That game is way too long, and it had good ideas.
It wasn't done well, especially towards the end.
It's insanely repetitive.
Yeah,
and it's you're it's the meat of the game is you just asking people questions.
Yeah,
and if you get things wrong, you can just do it again. And you just do it over and over again until you get it right.
Yeah, no, the story thought it was being clever, but it really wasn't. You know, you were putting people in jail, but even though like you knew like the excuses were flimsy, and then you find out the very next case that the excuses were.
Well, do you have anything you want to talk about?
I'll just plow through them real quick. There was a Gran Turismo Super Sport bundle that was only released in Taiwan. They only made one of them. It cost.
Can I guess?
Yeah, guess.
36,000.
Close.
What is it?
46,000.
Oh, somebody in the chat wrote 36,000 before, and they were wrong.
It's 46,000 US dollars, which remember this is a Taiwanese release, so it's 1.4 million Taiwanese dollars. It came with a copy of Gran Turismo Sport, a PS4 Pro, a PSVR.
It better come with a car.
12 months of PlayStation Plus, Sony Bravia 4K HDR OLED TV.
Still not up there to 46,000.
A Thrustmaster TGT wheel, which is apparently $800.
Okay.
A racing seat, which is $400.
We're still not there yet.
And a 2018 Mazda Miata.
There we go.
Which is $30,000. And it's the base model and a special red paint job. All of that is total. All of that added up is $38,000, which means they're upcharging you $8,000 for this bundle.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is garbage.
They only made one of this bundle, so.
Yeah, but.
They still shouldn't have done it.
Are any of these things like branded like Gran Turismo?
I think the car.
Like if the car had like Gran Turismo stuff on it, then the car might be worth a little more than 36,000.
Yeah.
Because it's a very unique.
But it's the base model.
So look at this lady next to her Miata.
It's the base model Mazda Miata, so other than the paint job, there's nothing special about it.
I mean, it's a nice car.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that. I just, that was a silly little human interest story. The untitled Han Solo movie finally has a title.
Yes.
It's Solo, the Star Wars story.
Yes.
I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. We knew it was going to be either Han Solo or Solo.
Yeah.
People are really disappointed by this.
But that it's just called Solo?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
What do they want it to be called?
I have no idea.
I think Solo's a fine name.
Yeah. It makes sense. If they do other, like there was that rumor that the Obi-Wan Kenobi one is just going to be called Kenobi, which fits in line with this.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I heard somewhere there was an argument that Rogue One would have been a good name for this because that's what Han Solo is.
What are they not going to do Boba Fett anymore?
There's like hasn't been really any news one way or the other.
Are they going to shift Boba Fett into Kenobi?
I don't know. Because Josh Trank was supposed to do Boba Fett, but now he's not making it anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it. It's not a trailer or anything.
It's Ron Howard just saying that it's now called Solo.
So I looked this up. Ron Howard joined this movie back in late June, after they fired the original directors.
I'm going to have another Fruity Pebbles.
Go for it.
We're falling apart here.
And he just wrapped principal photography. So what is that? June, July, August, September, October. So 5 months for a movie like this. That's a crazy amount of time to get all the shots he needed done. And this movie's supposed to come out in May of next year.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
He is a professional.
He is. Like, Ron Howard's a great director. But even he's like, he'll probably need some reshoots. Allegedly, like, all the Phil Lord and Chris Miller did like a lot of the effects heavy stuff already, so they can just use that. But I don't know. This is something like we're gonna have to wait and see.
I think it's a dumb idea, period.
Yeah. But
I mean, they're
Who
batting
knows?
1,000 so far.
Yeah.
With their new Star Wars movies. So I think it'll be good. I just think they shouldn't have made this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that.
Rogue One was a good idea.
Yes.
And
Rogue
that
One
is
was
a
good idea.
great movie.
Yeah. Han Solo, I feel like that can just be a book.
Yeah, that is something that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to revisit the characters we already like.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, I don't like, with the exception of Kenobi, just because I'm fascinated by that era. I would rather see new characters like Kyle Katarn, because I don't trust EA with him anymore.
Yes. I don't think we're ever seeing him again.
That just makes me sad.
I think that's it. I think that's it for him.
All right, and the last thing I got, a very important trailer dropped today. Not today, this week. Snakes Out of Compton is
What's that?
it's a real movie. It's called Snakes Out of Compton.
What is it?
It's a disaster movie about giant snakes invading Compton.
Does that have anything to do with snakes on a plane?
No.
No.
This is a brand new movie. This isn't the actual final thing I wanted to talk about, but
Hold on, I gotta bring it up.
I feel like I had to mention Snakes Out of Compton. I wanted to talk about the Black Panther trailer, but I couldn't resist talking about Snakes Out of Compton.
It didn't even autofill.
It's very obscure.
Oh my god, it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
That is the poster is insane.
Yeah.
Why
Trailer looks terrible.
Why does it have googly eyes?
Yeah, like I said, this movie looks terrible, but the title is incredible.
Yeah, Black Panther looks
Yeah,
great,
no,
though.
really. In all seriousness, a new Black Panther trailer dropped this week. It looks really good. I'm more excited than ever to see it. I'm probably more excited for this than I've been, towards a Marvel movie in a long time.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Like,
It looks really, really good.
The one thing that this movie has that I haven't really seen in other Marvel movies in a long time is style. This movie has like its own style that none of the else have. A lot of the Marvel films have been very, I don't want to say samey, but you can definitely tell like it's a Marvel movie. They all fit a mold. This looks like it's like taking a step in a different direction. Like it's not breaking the mold, but it's changing the mold to fit it rather than changing itself to fit the mold.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. When is that?
February
We
next
got
year.
Plenty of time. Yeah, I'm into that. I like that.
Hell yeah.
I like all Marvel movies. When's Thor?
2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need that. Thor looks great.
Thor-
I'm into the idea of making it like changing the tone completely, going towards Guardians. I'm cool with that.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, well,
You're gonna have a video on this.
I'm gonna have a video on it, so stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your mother. Is it time for the tweet of the week? Well,
Tweet of the week. Tweet of the week.
I guess
Tweet of the
it
week.
is. This tweet is from Gabby. Oh god. I'm screwing up everything here.
No.
It is from Harley Ivy on Twitter.
Okay.
I sometimes cry at the fact that this is an actual page from a Captain America comic.
I've seen this.
I can only assume this is the work of Rob Liefeld.
I don't know because that's not his face. Like that's not the way he draws faces.
I mean, it's the way he draws everything else.
It is.
That is a disaster.
That is awful.
I like how the girl's just like, no. That is a very massive man or a
That
very
is.
tiny woman.
That I don't know. That is a bad.
That's a bad panel right there. But that is funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for this. I mean, the other things that I have, some stupid article about, we now know why Famicom cartridges have a hole in them.
Yeah.
And it's just because the designer was like,
Let's put a hole in it.
let's put a hole in it. There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
There was Nintendo released some chart about all the games that they're releasing for all of their systems.
Yeah.
The eShop update we did, and the Nintendo World Cup Mario Maker courses are now available, which I will be playing on Sunday because I love Mario Maker and I like streaming it.
There you
So
go.
watch me rage quit on Sunday. Now is when we go into the chat and answer your questions or comments.
Yes.
Or you can use the hashtag Wulff Den Live on Twitter. Or if you're not here, that's cool. But leave a comment on the episode that you're watching, and we'll answer it in the following week.
Yes. So I will go to last week's Wulff Den Live.
I'll go to the hashtag over here.
You do that.
Where is it? Here it is. This was 6 days ago. What would you want to see in a future Zelda game? No, we read that last week.
Yeah.
Just your average Sunday night with Wulff Den. Oh, what is this? This is from David. Oh, he's playing Splatoon with us.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, we played Splatoon on Sunday. You're missing the Sunday streams. You got to be there for the Sunday stream.
Yeah.
Titanium Brains. Do a podcast with Nintendo Prime. I am, actually. Too bad, Will. Thursday night. I am recording with them. So there you go. Your wish has been granted. I don't know. I don't think they live stream. So you'll just have to catch the VOD, and I'll talk about it next week, whatever it goes up.
Yeah.
Simone Stig, what PlayStation or Xbox exclusive titles do you want on the Switch? Bloodborne.
I feel like it would have to be a game that it's not like a third-party developed game that's exclusive to. So like something like Street Fighter V
Bloodborne.
or Bloodborne, yeah.
Yeah. Street Fighter 5.
It's a Capcom game, but it's exclusive to PS5.
Right.
Because Uncharted will never come to the Switch. Halo will never come to Switch.
Well, I don't know what that new publishing arm will.
No, maybe. Although Microsoft did put Minecraft on the Switch, so they're bros.
Sony is putting a lot of their games on PC.
True. So is
You know?
Microsoft.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I would say Bloodborne is one of them. I don't know what else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Augustin Soto. Will, is Deathstroke Reborn good? Bob, do you have a NS accessory, I guess Nintendo Switch accessory, that doesn't exist yet, but you really need? Something I can make up. All right, you talk first. I don't know.
Deathstroke Reborn, if you're referring to Deathstroke Rebirth, yes. It is very good. It is written by Christopher Priest, who is one of the best, if often forgotten, comic book writers of his time.
What I want for a Nintendo Switch accessory is a left Joy-Con where the D-pad is where the analog stick is. I want the analog stick to be a classic Nintendo D-pad. And that's it.
Okay.
I want that. I don't think I will ever get that.
You
but
want the analog stick to be a classic?
I want the analog stick to be a classic D-pad.
So it would only have one analog stick?
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, this is only for retro games.
Oh, okay.
Or retro style games.
I got
So
you.
I wouldn't need analog sticks at all.
Okay, I gotcha.
So, frankly, if you want to give me two Joy-Cons where it's just a D-pad and face buttons, cool with that. No analog sticks needed. That's so I could play my Gunvolt, my Sonic, my Mario. I would love that.
Yeah.
Mario Maker. All right.
From last week, Ryan White. I'm curious what mics y'all use for your videos.
This is I don't know.
It's Audio Technica, right?
Audio Technica 2035, I believe. Or 2025.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we got them on eBay.
Yeah.
Or well, no, one of them's new, one of them's on eBay. I don't know which
eBay is a very good place to get mics.
eBay is a very good place to get any equipment.
Yes.
Because a lot of this stuff, if it's relatively expensive or like a decent price, they hold up.
Yeah.
So, and these things, I mean, it was brand new when we got it.
Yeah. Parker Deal. The explanation I heard about why Zelda games so often get 10s is that they fit into game reviewers' patterns really well. Even when they're not the best long-term games, the progression fits really well into what reviewers for a lot of reasons. I still think Breath of the Wild is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, but can definitely see that many of the others shouldn't be. So I guess we talked about how like a lot of, because Mario Odyssey got reviewed by Edge and they gave Zelda games a lot of 10 out of 10. I think we talked about Zelda games always get 10 out of 10. He's saying because they fit into what reviewers specifically look for in a game, they all have it. Which is interesting.
I could see that.
Yeah.
The reviewers have, a lot of these review websites, they have check marks.
Yeah.
That they rate games on. Which I think game reviews are flawed generally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they really matter much, like a review.
I
put the Metacritic scores in my videos, but that's just kind of like an identifier of how good it is.
I think the problem is because, like, that score, everything boils down to that rather than, like, the nuances of the actual
There's plenty of
review.
games that I really like that don't score very well.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So it's really just about looking at a game and seeing if you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I guess you can use the Metacritic score to see whether or not it delivers on its promises.
Yeah.
That's what I use sometimes.
Alejandro Romero, from all the hair you guys have, I'm starting to think you guys might be furries, especially Bob. Well, he is.
I love furries. No, I don't. I love what? What do you love if you're a furry? Animals? No, you love anthropomorphic animals.
Yes.
Yes.
So Star Fox. Yes, we like Star Fox.
Can't get enough of them. OG87. It's because of you talking about suits for the wedding, the gay thing. Oh, like your wedding. We're talking about suit because last week he's I guess he must be the guy who said you guys are gay married and not brothers.
Oh, right.
So apparently we were talking about getting suits for
Was
your
this the
wedding.
one where I was wearing my Men's Warehouse?
It must have been the one before that.
Maybe.
Because we answered his comment in the next week.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're talking about getting suits for your wedding, and he thought for our wedding, which is not the case.
No.
He also said, the Daily Star is a UK paper that is full of crap. It's lies, all lies, I tell you. It's like that Simpsons episode. It was best of times. It was the blurst of times that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, Daily Star is... It's like Us Weekly.
Did we read something from them, I guess?
Might have. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into the chat.
Do it.
It just says, Bob loves Sonic. What do you think about Sonic Forces?
I'm holding out hope it's going to be good. I mean, I don't know why they're not giving us a lot of information on it.
Do you think it looks good?
Right now, I think it looks okay.
Very valid.
Yeah, I feel like that's a game I need to play. Because, like, right now, everything that they're releasing, you're right, it's very little clips. It doesn't really give us a whole lot. The one they recently released where the creative character is going through Chemical Plant Zone was very stop and go.
I got a lot of comments yesterday. Ha ha, they just released one that looks awesome, you idiot. You didn't include it because you think it looks good or something.
Yeah.
No, it looks exactly the same as all the other clips that they've shown.
So I'm going to wait and see. I'm still probably going to get the game regardless.
I think the game looks mediocre.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to get it.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
I'd put a lot of money down that it's going to be.
I mean, because part of the reason why Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations worked very well is because they were able to find a way to keep the momentum going in between everything. That's why, Bob, they put the rush mechanic in there so your momentum doesn't stop.
But that I don't need the momentum thing. I think this is a thing that people think that Sonic is. Like, everybody says Sonic's fast and all that, and that's very important to a Sonic game. But I think platforming is so much more important in a Sonic game.
That is important, but for the parts where you go fast, the rush mechanic helps you a great deal, especially if there are enemies in the way, so that your momentum doesn't stop. You know, so you don't have to like jump and homing attack everything, or if you miss, you got to realign and do all that stuff. Something
that Sonic Adventure 2 did really well is that it gave you control. So
yeah,
when you're going really fast, you still have a lot of control. When you're doing those homing attacks, when you're fighting enemies, when you're platforming, you have the control. Games like what looks like Sonic Forces and in some respects Sonic Unleashed, it lines up enemies. It doesn't let you usually hit the A button, but it doesn't feel like you're in control. Right. It feels like almost a quick time event.
I'll get to that in a second. Sonic Generations did a really good job of it sets it all up for you. But if you can't use your rush attack, they make it in a way where you can control where you go and what you hit and stuff. It's a lot less open than Sonic Adventure was. It's much more like you're on a linear path. There's that word again. But I feel like for Sonic, that's better than trying to open things up. Because as soon as you open things up, that's when he starts to
I don't think it's better because it makes it feels like you don't have control. But of course, don't make it too open, because when you
Right.
make it too open, you get things like Sonic 06,
Yeah.
where everything's broken now.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line,
Yeah.
and it's hard,
Yeah.
but it's possible. It's doable.
I will say that that stuff they released yesterday for Sonic Forces, it looked like when that character was jumping off of the train and stuff, that looked like a quick time event that they didn't put the button prompt on.
That just looked like a cutscene to me.
I felt
There's
like,
another thing that they showed in a different clip.
Yeah.
Where they just do a cut while you're playing. You're playing,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they do a cut and they show like a weird thing, and then you're back to playing again.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool.
Yeah.
To do that, to all of a sudden just change perspective
Yeah.
and take the controls away from you for something completely useless.
That's no good.
That's no good. Did everybody like my shirt? This is paper beats scissors or something from the
Yeah.
I like the shirt. Okay.
All right. Next question.
Samuel, how do I get that rad cappy hat? GameStop. $20. This might be my Halloween costume.
Okay.
I ordered oversized white gloves.
Are you gonna?
There are great mustaches on Amazon that
Yeah.
have the loops just like
Yeah.
Mario, but they come with the hat, and I don't want the hat.
Yeah, you don't need the hat
because I got a hat. So I think I'm just gonna grow my beard out, and then when I need to get dressed up, I'll trim down the sides and
Oh,
just have a
boy.
big bushy mustache. So get ready for that. Meowsies, do you get DMCA'd for your Hoobastank bit? Also, props to the comedic timing between you and AJ not being in the same place. Oh, thank you very much. No, because we are managed partners.
There you go.
That's our MCN pulling through.
Yeah.
For once. I forgot about that until I posted that. But it could very potentially DMCA us if we ever leave our managed network.
Yeah.
But I tried to keep it to under 3-second clips.
Yeah, I think that's the
maximum. But I have 2 3-second clips. So that's what's dicey. But
both of Crawling in the Dark, or
yeah, the same song.
Okay.
But the second time I play it, I'm talking over it. So
Right,
maybe
yeah.
that could skirt around it. I don't know. It's legal.
yeah,
But it's a potential for a DMCA.
yeah.
Lev into the Infinite says 1 to 10 scores have been a meme for a while. They give Little Big Planet 1 a higher score than Little Big Planet 2.
I mean,
I think Little Big Planet 1 deserves a bigger score than Little Big Planet 2.
well, I feel like Little Big Planet 2 is a better game overall. It's got, more content, better controls.
Better controls?
Yeah.
I didn't really think it's been a while.
I mean,
I didn't think they changed much.
I know review scores are a meme at this point. The joke is most websites review everything between 6 and a 9. Like 9 is absolute must play, one of the greatest games of all time, and a 6 is trash.
That's another thing. Like, some people mostly reviewers, they view the scores like we as consumers view the score as like a test scale.
Yeah.
So like a 6 would be failing,
Yeah.
but a lot of reviewers view a 5 as average.
yeah.
Which is very weird.
Yeah. Which makes sense because it's right in the middle.
It makes sense, but it doesn't appear that way to us consumers.
But you notice like a lot of review sites like don't rate anything below a 5. If they do, it must be really bad. So, but then you got things like 7 out of 10, too much water, IGN, things like that.
I heard about that from the IGN perspective.
Yeah.
Who wrote that. There was a reason for the too much water.
Right.
I think it was a Pokemon game. There was too many
yeah.
water Pokemon.
It was a Pokemon game. It was a remake. It was like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And I think in the review she says something like, nowadays, back in the day, like the fact there's just a lot of water traversal. Back in the day, it wasn't much of a problem, but like now, with games getting much faster paced, like it kind of becomes a slog. And then from that, I think the person who does like the bullet points is different from the person who writes the article. And from that, they just took too much water.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Convoy, are you going to stream Super Metroid? From my Super Nintendo Classic? Probably not. It's not really a game that I've been thinking about streaming Mega Man X again because I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably not Super Metroid. Jim U _ is Rocksteady working on Metroid Prime 4? We don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, Retro's doing...
No, Rocksteady.
No, Retro's does Metroid Prime 4.
Do we know that yet? Yeah. That's confirmed?
Yeah. When they announced it, they said Metroid Prime 4 in active development.
I didn't know they said Retro was working on it.
Pretty sure they did.
Here's E3 2017. Metroid Prime 4 is not developed by Retro.
Oh.
And then Kotaku, Nintendo announces Metroid Prime 4 parentheses update. It's not Retro.
Interesting.
I typed in Retro Metroid Prime 4 and all of the articles are from June and it says Retro Studios is not making it. But I mean,
the Retro Studios of today is very different from the Retro Studios that made the Metroid Prime trilogy.
We just don't know who's making Metroid Prime 4. I want to know why they think that. The game's fact sheet says that development is being led by Metroid Prime series producer Kensuke Tanabe with a talented new development team, in quotes. That sounds like it's not Retro.
Yeah.
So
no.
we have no idea who's developing
Metroid Prime 4. Sounds like it's
Prime
an
4.
internal Nintendo team.
Yeah. It's a new team.
Right.
But again, we have no idea who's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it will be good, though, because Nintendo knows what they're doing.
Yes.
All right, what else we got here? I'll take like one or two more.
Yeah.
Toke It Up says, Bob, when are you going to have another Splatoon 2 live stream? I don't know. It's probably going to be a while because I want to do Mario Maker, these Nintendo World Cup levels. Mm-hmm. The people who were playing it were terrible. One guy was good, but the other guys were freaking terrible. And we got to do Odyssey. So we got a lot.
Yeah,
we got a lot going on.
Do the Odyssey. Yes, see.
Tommy Rojas, Sonic Heroes is the standard I put all the 3D Sonic games to.
That is not a good standard to put.
It's coming right at you with that.
Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, that wasn't a good standard.
Sonic Heroes is very bad level design.
Yeah.
A lot of those levels are like very poorly designed.
I wanted to like that game a lot.
I think the worst part about Sonic Heroes is you had that was a game you had to beat with all the characters before you got the real ending. I hate games like that.
Oh, the Sonic Adventure 1 was like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for years.
And I think that's why I think that's why I never beat Sonic Adventure 1 completely, because trying to catch the freaking frog is Big the Cat.
Froggy.
You know who was the voice of Big the Cat in that game?
Oh, Whiz Kid.
No.
In the chat.
John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. What a guy. What a talented, overall, just well-rounded voice actor.
He is. He's if you ever hear his demo reel, it's really good.
Hey, Will, says LKM Cherokee. Are you excited for Doomsday Clock?
Hell yeah, I'm excited for Doomsday Clock. They released a 5-page preview of it. It's going to be nuts. Yehuda Sakurome, sorry about that, but Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom are my standards for Sonic games.
Yep. Sounds like somebody doesn't like Sonic.
Yeah.
Tokyo, this is the last one I'm going to pick.
Okay.
Tokyo says, Nintendo just released that video like 2 hours ago. Is the Switch getting an update today? Yeah. It got an update. We talked about it earlier.
I should go home and update my Switch.
It was at the top of this this video. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch it. I don't know what video they released, though.
No, there is a video of them showing you how to do the video recording.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to try that out.
Yeah.
Maybe later when I do my show. Oh, yeah. 2 hours ago, Nintendo Video Capture. All right. Well, that's it. You got anything?
No, I'm good.
Guys, thank you for hanging out.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us. As always, Wulff Den Live is every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on youtube.com/WulffDen. So come, talk to us, have a good time. If you don't want to have a good time right away, no problem, man. We always put this up the next day, Thursday, an archive version for you to watch at your leisure. Or, if you prefer to listen to us instead of looking at our hairy faces, you can do so. We are on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play as an audio podcast. And if you listen to us there, be sure to subscribe to us there and rate us and review us because that helps us with placement on those respective stores.
Guys, we still have 5 more sponsors on YouTube Gaming.
5.
And then I will play the dreaded Mario and Rabbids, that stupid game. Which, you know what? Nobody cares about that game anymore.
I guess not. Everyone's moving on to, I don't know.
Gee, I wonder why.
What's the new hotness right now?
Game to play?
Yeah. It changes every week.
I mean, AAA for Switch, not much.
Yeah.
Odyssey in a week.
Yeah.
Or like 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm out of it. The most recent game I played was Sonic Mania.
But anyway, if you're not here watching us live, in the description, there's a little link to sponsor us at YouTube Gaming.
Yep.
And eventually, I'm going to try to do monthly streams where I play with sponsors. I played with subscribers the other day. I played with just anybody who was just jumping in our room. But I would like to give priority to sponsors eventually. Games like Splatoon, Mario Kart, whatever you want, really. And what else do we got? The backlog's coming back.
Yes.
Not for a while, but it'll be back.
Stay tuned for more details. Subscribe so you can be the first to see new episodes of the backlog.
It'll be in November.
Yes.
What else do we got here? I'll be on Twitch in like a half an hour. Twitch.tv/BobWolf. Go over there right now, and I'll be hanging out in the chat. How are you guys? You good? I'm good. Thank you guys for hanging out. See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.